This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra percent from the people that follow you. Plus, you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard.
Hello everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to start by a bit of Bitcoin, but we're going to look at ICP, one of the more interesting trades, I say, of last week. And potentially one that's got a bit of potential in it as well. So, but first we'll just quickly go through this situation with Bitcoin so we can understand the risks of any kind of altcoin play at the moment, which is still we're in this this range which effectively marks a cup and handle formation, right? So this is it. So you could make the case that there's a second cup and handle being formed at the moment. Either way, we're in the process of forming the handle, which means, and it's an inverse one as well. So this basically means that we could break down. So for those who I've been speaking about this for a little while. We invert the chart so it's easier to recognize. There's your cup, here's your handle, and the breakout would be from this point forward. So this is an inverse chart, so this basically means from either 19,000 breakdown, or if we go from wick to wick, we could be talking about 18,000. So it doesn't matter which way you play it. If we break out from or break down from below 18,000, it's not going to look good. So we just flip this back round the other way, and we can think about what we were hoping for at the weekend, which would be for, and it's not just a weekend, it's any point really. We'd be looking for this to be invalidated by making closures above 21,800. Candle body closures on a daily above 21,800 would invalidate this inverse cup and handle formation. But for the moment, we're still within the territory of that, which means that we run the risk of obviously forming it and breaking down from it. So it's a range just like anything else, and the center of this range is more or less 20,000. So we give or take 20,000. The upper 20, the lower $20,000 area. So we're talking about 20,200, 20,400. Should be a fair bit of support amongst that area. If it breaks down, no problem in getting back down to the bottom of that range, which is 19,000, and then closure below there. We would be looking, I would say, probably looking for new lows to be swept. So while Bitcoin ranges, you know, altcoins can move, and altcoins do seem to be developing decent setups. And we talked about this with ICP the other week, and we met our first sell target, which was in the form of sats and for dollars, and it was basically 320 sats, which again doesn't sound much, but we're talking about ICP, you know, and that move from here to here, 24% on its sats, and we hit the pretty much at the exact level as well on Tether. So for 740 was all the area. And so now what we're thinking about is continuation. So if we just go to the daily the 12 hourly chart on the Bitcoin pair, we've got a continuation of a trend signal which is still in play. If we can hover and stay above 325, then we are above the 200 exponential and the 200 simple on the 12 hourly. And this being a continuation of a trend signal, so for those who don't know, I mean, I suggest you go and have a look at my Ichimoku Cloud tutorials. It'll explain it, but just in a nutshell, we've got a cross above the cloud, price is above the cloud, and the Chiku span closed above price action. So this basically would suggest, as far as this indicator is concerned, which is usually pretty reliable, that we would have a trend continue. I'm not saying it's going to be this steep. A trend continue until either this blue crosses the red, so conversion line crosses back over the baseline, a negative cross, or this Chiku span here touches the price action. That'll tell you to get out of the trade. So at the moment it's very early days, but you've got to put your faith in the indicator, and it is what it is. It's only a 12 hourly, but I mean it's still relevant. All time frames are relevant, and so yeah, you trust it until it takes you to the next level. And to be honest with you, the next level really on a horizontal support basis is 400 sats. So we're thinking about it mostly with sats in this instance because this is where the signal was generated. It's not really appropriate to transfer that over to the Tether pair, but if we were to think about it, and this isn't really, you know, how you should ever really do it because we don't know what price Bitcoin will be. We've already established just recently that Bitcoin can go down and altcoins can go up throughout a period. That, you know, that's something that we capitalized on about 4 or 5 weeks ago, bagging a good 50% gain. That can happen again, so it's not really worthy of doing this, but we'll do it just for fun. So we're looking for a target now of about 22 to 23%, and that would mean for and this is just in the event that Bitcoin stayed exactly static, we could be looking at targets of the lower $8 zone. And if we think about that, that's 9, and this is around 8.5. There's some tops around here, so yeah, I suppose it matches this kind of top side of this small range that we're in. So I suppose about $8.40, but again, we'll take that out. Just remember $8.40 just as a, you know, maybe a target, but I'd be mostly would be looking at sats. And with this, it's a very clear area, I would say, of 400 sats, and it's a nice round number for people to hold on to. So we just move this over to the daily and zoom in. So above 400 sats, we've got the 200 exponential, simple first of all, to 425, and the exponential 484. Now, in the event that for whatever reason ICP does do something very, very special and start to really push up really hard, this area here, 500 sats, another nice round number for us simple primates that have been granted access to, you know, for computers and buttons. You know, we still like round numbers, and that's a nice round one right there, 400 and then 500 sats. So that they're very easy to hold on to those ideas of support resistances at round numbers like that. And I could easily see this happening. I could see 400 sats being met, and maybe continuing on to 500 sats. So simple, but I mean that is basically how it goes, isn't it? Really, we love it. We love a round number. So yeah, I mean ICP looking pretty good. Now this isn't a signal either, but we do have a portion of the cloud over here which is green. We do have a cross over here. We are now above the cloud, so for a pump signal on a daily, which would be a decent, significant move if it were to happen, it would require the Chiku span to close outside of the cloud, which at the moment would mean a closure above, we'll have to call it about 370 sats, just to be safe, and then over a period of maybe a week or so we could get that next big push up, a pump move based on the daily. So we've got a trend on the 12 hourly and possibly a pump on the daily, and that's what we'll be looking for. And it's that sort of power that could take us into this zone. Whether we hit 500 or we get rejected on any of these major moving averages is a different story, but either way it's still a trend in progress, and it's not been cancelled out, and it actually looks quite good with its sats as well. We're above the 0 point and more or less diverging as well. Yeah, I'm quite keen on it. The only issue I would say would be this bearish divergence we've got on the daily money flow index, but you can't have it all, to be honest with you can't have it all. And remember, ICP is a bit of a hard thing to try and trade on. There's no divergence, or bearish divergence should I say, on the tether pair, which is good. So there is always that, but the tether pair looks a lot weaker. Now if we go to the 4 hourly, what we see is incoming. It's not quite there yet. Come on HyperTrader, I've seen it earlier. Just catch up with me now, just catch up. Well, it's incoming anyway, it's not closed here yet anyway, but it's an incoming golden cross on a 4 hourly, which should then again, you know, strengthen an uptrend in the form of supports. All these moving averages becoming supports and moving into the appropriate positions, and that's where we want them to be. You can already see how we moved all the way up to the top side of that range and used the 200 exponential on the 4 hourly as a support, and we've moved up from there so far. You know, it's not, you know, it's not magic, it's not special, it is just very basic 4 hourly, you know, trend signals and strengthening trend basically. But like I say, you do have to question it, because it is ICP, and ICP is notorious for doing, you know, sharp moves up and then collapsing back down. But this is definitely a change of behavior. We've not been above the 200 exponential on the 4 hourly since all the way back down here when we had this run up to $23. Now there is also something else that we should take on board as well, which is that we've had giant consolidation that has more or less been broken out of. Now it's not, I look at it on the 4 hourly, it's a bit messy. It's not perfect, it's not special, it's not amazing, but it has happened, and it's happened, you know, close to what looks like an apex, but we'll see. And this means that we could just accumulate for a little while down at these low levels. I'll just move it to the daily now that we've established that. We could just accumulate at these lower zones down here. Just refresh this chart here. Reaccumulate down these lower zones, and that does mean revisit some of these bottom zones as well. This $5.30. That's all okay to happen, because now we're outside of the major downtrend. If you think about it in terms of huge resistances, that's finished now. We could easily go into another downtrend or another new downtrend, but as far as the last one that's been going on for quite a long time now, since more or less all the way back in November, so effectively the beginning of the bear market, this could be an area of accumulation. Even if we don't break out and go up higher, we could just accumulate down these low levels and not be as afraid as we were when we were getting hit by this, you know, big electric fence type of resistance. So it's not too bad. It's not the worst thing you've ever seen in the world. In fact, it's quite good. It's worth highlighting out there amongst all these, you know, top to upper mid cap coins that we like to look at. And I like ICP. What can I say? I do like it. You know, for what it is, what it wants to do. Whether it achieves it or not is a different story. But I do like it. It's not an actual shitcoin, although it has performed like a shitcoin should. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, but I hope you have taken that on board, recognise the risks to the potential rewards. Like I say, I wouldn't tell any of you to buy any of this stuff. This is up to you to decide what you want to do. I'm into ICP. I did some scalpy trades recently, exited them at that 320 sat zone. I do have more as well that I might be looking to sell as we go up, but personally, you know, it is a risky one, despite the chart looking, you know, quite good. And the main risk involved is Bitcoin, inverse cupping handle, bearish formation, yet to be either invalidated or confirmed, and then obviously traditional markets, which, you know, we can get onto that another time. But yeah, traditional markets, effectively in a nutshell, in summary, could continue or could effectively get rejected at this very moment in time. So we'll see. We've got CPI data coming out as well at some point this week, I believe, which will certainly have an impact on the markets. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Join the Telegram, Discord, Patreon. All of it is in the description below. And have a nice day. Take it easy.